We'll start with this pink, little pink t-shirt. Now I'll photograph her in all of her layers, and then I will probably dress her in something to go home that's a little less bulky. You know, I hope she doesn't look scary. My intention wasn't to make her look scary or dead or hurt. It's just playing with some imagery that I found that I really liked. And let's put her gown on. Her gown has some little millinery flowers and stamens on it. So I think all of these layers look okay on their own, but I really, really, really want to see what they look like together. I have not tried. I just have been putting things aside in a pile waiting to get her dressed. A lot of the imagery that I saw, again, was that kind of kimono style wrapped baby. And then some babies that were like, you know, 1950s, 1960s. They were dressed a little bit more traditionally. This little gown is so pretty. I hand washed it. It wasn't musty when I got it. It's in just absolute terrific condition. I liked this little gown because it has those wide open sleeves. They're not gathered, so they look a little bit more kimono-esque than these little frilly sleeves. But the person who gets this baby can do whatever they like. And then I made this little dusty rose wrap for her. Hopefully I measured correctly and it'll go around her easily. I can't remember if the knot was in the front or the back. I'm pretty sure it was in the back. Yeah, that looks like a karate belt. That's not the look I'm going for. And I might go back to my reference photos and make sure that I have the knots in the right place. And I have a little sweater to go over if I want to keep going. Maybe I will just to see what it looks like, but I kind of like the way it looks just like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it. I think I'm gonna stop there. And this is a little Japanese owl bell. It is not vintage. It's rather new and shiny. There she is. Now I'm going to leave her feet bare. And I want to leave her hair like this, but I feel like she needs a cap because it's cold. And I do have this Kate Quinn hat. I'm going to try it on just because the colors are right, but I'm not sure I'm going to use it. So she is done. You can see how pale blue her eyes are and how red her hands and feet are. And you can see how they fade to very, very white. And I think she turned out awesome. And I think all the vintage stuff, if I had my way, I think I would just remove all of this lace, and I probably could, but I don't want to ruin the gown. I'm not sure if it was handmade or not, but I think it's going to be fine. We've got a little bit of the old and the new here, so she is done. And I did not magnetize this baby, and I'm not going to magnetize this baby And I will send her home with a muslin and the sweater and the kimono and some socks for the trip home because it's going to be cold. Next baby is Mr. Callow. And I wanted to put a cloth diaper on him too, but I changed my mind at the last minute. He is painted just like a regular reborn. I just did deeper shading on him. But my intention was baby Superman. I had a request, so I thought I would indulge because I think that's really cool. And for photos, I think I'm just gonna do him in all whites. And then I have a little romper for him. And you might think, why call this an alternative if you just basically just reborn the baby? Well, because I called him an alternative and that was my plan, I had a little bit more freedom to do a few things that I couldn't do with a regular reborn baby. And that was, I played with a lot of shading and different colors that I wouldn't normally use. His hair is very, 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 very dark and thick. Let me grab some low hair conditioner. And I wasn't paying attention to all those hyper realistic details. I mean, he does have some of those, but I was just having fun. Baby, I just watched part of Man of Steel. I think I may be the last one on the planet to watch it. In the movie, they used a very skinny, very newborn, bald baby. And I think that they were trying to make the baby seem very vulnerable. You know, you would be sending off your newborn as your planet is crumbling around you. And I think for any mom, that would be almost impossible to do. And in the movie, she does have that moment where she panics and says, I can't do this, I can't do this. Even though she knows it's the right thing for him, you know, she's either going to keep him there and they will die together, or she will send him off and he may die alone. But in the end, you know what happens. She sends him off and hopes that he makes it to Earth and has a life that's good. I did not gloss his lips, I forgot. When I rooted him, I didn't root hair going into his head like this so that it would lay flat. I kind of went up like this so it would have a little more volume. I wanted the top of his hair to look very, very full. Here he is. And his eyes, I'm not sure if you can see, are steel blue. That wasn't on accident. And there's his hair. And I think once his varnish dries on his lips and toes, I think I'm gonna go back and re-varnish his painted hair one more time. So I wanna go one more time and just see if I can get a little bit more texture on his hair. But he is done. I'm not gonna dress him in it now because I'm planning on doing a little bit more varnishing, but I have this really super soft wool little union suit for him to wear to go home. It is the softest thing ever. And I have a white blanket for him. But I think I'm gonna send him home in baby whites, in a white blanket like he would have arrived here on Earth. And I'm being quite corny and geeky, but I'm cool with that. And this little guy, this is the Clyde sculpt. You know that he has some very purposeful blue shading on his ankles and his wrists that kind of are the same as on his head. He has blue rooted eyelashes and a little blue mohawk. He's super cute, super tiny. I did try to put a cloth diaper on him, but unfortunately it was so big it ate up half of his body. So we're just gonna go with a disposable diaper. Again, this was my practice round, just playing around, having a good time. And I have these little socks that have stars, little blue stars all over them that I found in my drawer. I was so excited. And I'm gonna dress him pretty simply in some blue pants. And this baby also has a lot of glow in the dark detail. So you can charge him in the sunlight when you're holding him, and then at night he'll be a soft, soft, glowy baby. A fall asleep nightlight. Do you remember those little glow worms? My kids had them when they were little. All my kids had them. You pressed their belly and they had that soft glow so that they could fall asleep. My youngest had them when they had added a music box. I loved those. I'm also going to send him with this little blue gown, but I think I'm going to take the hippo off and I'm going to put something else there. It's an applique, so I can't remove it, but I'm going to add something here. Maybe applique something. I have my sewing machine right here, so I'll put that aside to do. And these are the little blue pants he's going to wear. When I was pulling out all the clothes, these little pants fell on the ground and my cart rolled over them, so they have a little bit of dirt. So I want to get those hand washed real quick and dried before I get him dressed. But you get the picture. He will be wearing blue on blue and perhaps a little jacket. I found this cute little gymboree jacket in my baby closet, and it has lightning bolts and clouds, and so he'll probably be wearing that. It's going to be a little difficult to get a regular newborn cap over his head because of his horns, so I needed him to have a hoodie. But you know, when I go to thin out my baby clothes, or you know, thin out my studio in general, I always think, oh, I'm gonna need that. If I get rid of that, I'm gonna be kicking myself because I'll need it later. And so I tend to hold on to things that I probably don't need to, but this is one of those times it paid off. I had that little sweatshirt in my closet forever, and sure enough, it's going to be perfect. So he's got those little glow in the dark. When the paint dries, it's almost translucent, so you can't really tell by looking at him because all these little white dots are just paint, regular white Genesis. But when he is in the dark, there are other dots all over him that will start to glow. And I'll give you a little peek at this guy. He's pretty adorable, very blue, very blue. His little mohawk, his hair's wet, his head's not shiny. This next baby has made a lot of Instagram friends. She's so cute. This is baby Alphaba. And I had a lot of ideas for getting her costumed, but you know, I found a few things that I wasn't expecting to find, and I made a couple things, so I'm just going to do this. First of all, I think I am going to photograph her in a white t-shirt, a diaper, and these cute little socks I made for her. Let me show you. I intended to dye the body green to go with her hands and feet, but the body's made out of a kind of a polyester blend, and so I didn't think it was going to take the dye very well, and I didn't want it kind of bleeding onto clothes and fading and making a mess. So I just decided to leave her body flesh tone. It's going to be covered up anyway with clothes, so I didn't feel like it was that big a deal. Maybe if I make another one, I might just get some green fabric and make a custom body out of green fabric. Or I could also do a cuddle baby. There's a woman that I buy cuddle bodies from on Etsy who makes them herself. And so I was thinking that I would maybe have her make me a green one. Let me go grab a diaper for this baby. She's so tiny. Again, like Clyde, the diaper would just be eaten up completely. So for photography, I'm going to look in my stash and see if I can find some white bloomers for her. Maybe a onesie would have been better. I'll look in my stash and see if I can find one. And I made her a pixie hat out of some black fleece that I had. I'm gonna comb her hair a little bit. Now she's got that very thick mohair that I got from Russia. It's so beautiful. I didn't root her pluggy, but the hairs are thick, so you can see the strands. It doesn't bother me, and usually little things bother me. This it didn't bother me that much. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on her hat. I'm really just trying out everything and make sure it fits. That's not gonna work. I will probably make her some little bloomers to use as a diaper cover because I don't want to see this. So I found this in my trim box. It's just some white trim, really, really pretty. I'm guessing it's for upholstery. I can't be certain. I am not a seamstress. And I hemmed it and trimmed it. I don't like it when people dress babies up like big kids or grown-ups. It's kind of creepy to me. So I hope this skirt doesn't translate that way. It's not my intention. If you have not read Wicked, you must read it. I'm not sure when we'll get a chance to see it done in a big theater again, but you can read the book and it's really, really awesome. There. Let me give her a little Nomi hat. I didn't want to give her a witch hat. She hasn't earned her witch hat yet. She's just a baby. I'm going to pop her in these pajamas and see if the greens don't clash. Or maybe they will and I won't care. I don't know. And there she is all snuggled up in her green. I like it a lot. And the rosettes on her hat match the rosettes on her gown. I think she's so cute. And I did put little black pom-poms on her socks because, I mean, who doesn't like black pom-poms? Who doesn't like pom-poms? They just make you happy. I don't know what it is about them. So I guess that's everyone. We're all done with that little batch of babies. That went by really fast. I don't usually say that, but it did. It went by pretty quickly. And it looks like I have a little bit of sewing to do, some headbands to make, and getting things together before photography, but I got too excited to show you guys. So let me get these babies all done, and if you want to see how it all turns out, just head on over to Instagram. I will post photos when I get a photo day. I still have the last 6 to photograph and these babies, minus my little fawn baby, who, I don't know, I'm playing with the idea of making her a giveaway. I think that would be fun. we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for hanging out with me again. I will get these videos up and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.